Hello, stamping friends. Welcome to Learning with Friends. I'm Pat Fairless from Fairless Stamping Flair, and today I have a technique for you that uses dryer sheets. I've been doing this technique for many, many years, and I've done it in several of my classes, and the customers that come to my classes love it, so I decided to go ahead and share it today. I typically tend to use it mostly for Christmas cards, and since it's July now, I figured we could make a Christmas card. So we're going to do Christmas in July today, and let me flip my camera down and let's go ahead and get started. All right, the stamp set that I'm going to use to demonstrate is called Season of Chic, and I'm just going to use this little snowflake. I'm actually kind of anxious for Christmas stamps to come out, not because I need any more. Believe me, I have plenty, but I really don't have very many current ones that are truly Christmas. So I did struggle a little bit to come up with some ideas from multiple stamp sets today because I wanted to make sure I use something current. So we're going to use this snowflake, and today I'm going to show you the card that I'm going to make first. This is it here, and the front panel is the one that uses the dryer sheet. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but you'll get the idea of how to do it as we walk through the steps. So first thing we're going to do is make this little front panel. And I need a piece of basic white cardstock. And because these stamps are photopolymer, I do like to use my pad underneath. It just makes a little bit better image. The two colors I'm using are Moody Mauve and Bubble Bath. Now the Moody Mauve is a little darker than I wanted it, so I'm stamping off. At least I hope I remember to stamp off wherever I use Moody Mauve. I'm going to do my best to stamp off. So we're just going to kind of place them here and there on the front of this cardstock here. Doesn't really matter, just kind of scatter them around a little bit. And I need to, where's my chamois? Okay. My chamois so I can clean off the Moody Mauve. And we will bring in Bubble Bath. I'll move this over, maybe you can actually see me. Bubble Bath is very light, so no need to stamp off here. So I'm just going to kind of fill in. Nothing very precise. Oops, stop. Sometimes that happens with photopolymer to me. Does that happen to you? Okay, so that's covered pretty well, I think. So now comes the fun part, covering this with a dryer sheet. And you can use any kind of dryer sheet you have. They all work. I'll be honest, I'm not even sure what mine is. I think it's probably Bounce because that tends to be what I use the most. And some of them I've noticed have a little bit of sheen and sparkle too. And those are the ones that I like to use when I'm trying to make a scene out of snow. And these particular ones seem to work well for that. So I've cut mine down. You want to cut it so it's just a little bit larger than your piece of cardstock. We will trim it so we don't need enough to wrap, but make it just a little larger. And the way we adhere it to our cardstock, and I'm going to bring in a box here. I hope this works. This is not normally how I spray these. Okay. Oh, I have to run and get one little thing. I forgot one of the things I like to use. It's glitter. So we're going to spray this with spray adhesive. And you can use any kind of spray adhesive. This is what I have in my workspace. It's just regular general spray adhesive. And we're going to spray the back or one side, I should say, of the dryer sheet. Now, it's probably coming up to my camera, which I hope doesn't really mess my lens up. If it does, we'll have to figure out a different way to do it. Oh my. So I'm going to take my little silicone sheet here. And the reason I ran off to get my glitter is, although the sheet has sparkle and shine on it itself, I kind of like to add a little extra. This is totally optional. We obviously no longer make glitter, but I just like to sprinkle just kind of like you're taking a pinch of salt of your glitter. I know a lot of people don't like glitter. If you don't like glitter, skip this part of it. And then we're just going to cover this. I'll flip it over and put my adhesive side down. And we're just going to kind of press it. Give it a little bit of time to dry. I should say these are used dryer sheets. If I didn't mention that, it is used. I like to iron mine afterwards to make it nice and flat. And it also tends to add a little bit of stiffness back into it. So it just makes it easier to handle. So yes, I do iron mine because it seems to work better for the technique if you do that. But they are used. They're not brand new ones. So they've got all the anti-cling stuff has been used up. All right, so now we're going to trim this down. And you can just trim around the cardstock from the front side, back side, doesn't really matter. You can also take it and just slightly tear it if you want to, and that will make it look torn, and it kind of makes it feathered out a little bit. I would say it gives it a little bit more organic look. And if you want to tear it, I would leave a little bit longer border around the edge so you have something better to get a hold of. And you're not really going to tear, you're just going to kind of pull it apart because these dryer sheets don't really tear, they'll just sort of pull into pieces. It looks like I have a little black speck of something there, but maybe that's where we'll stick something to cover it up. Okay, and that is my completed dryer sheet piece. Now I'm not sure, you probably can't see the sparkle. I can't see it too much in my camera here either, but you can definitely see it on the card. It just gives it a real soft look. It kind of looks like it's a snowstorm and maybe the wind is blowing and it's blowing the snow a little sideways. So it gives it that foggy, misty kind of a look, right? So then all we do is now we're just going to attach this to our card front. Okay, so I'm just going to adhere that, and I can add any kinds of embellishments I want over that. So let's go ahead and get our silicone mat back out here, and then add a little glue on the back of this. The way I like to add glue on little pieces is I just make a little dab on my silicone sheet, and then I take a sponge, dab it up, and just kind of touch the back lightly, because you don't want a lot of glue or it just oozes out, kind of makes a mess, right? So let's just lay this up here. And then I have a couple small ones that I did stick a tiny little dimensional on. These are from the same Season of Chic stamp set, and these are from the Chic dies. So where should I stick that up here? This one's slightly different than the card I showed you. I'm just going to grab a glue dot here. Normally I don't show you this much of the card, but because it is a joyful card, I thought I'd go ahead and assemble it just so you can, if you've not made a joyful card before, so you can see how it's assembled. So I have soft shimmer paper already made on my large card base, and this is a small card base. This is actually 4 1/4 by 8 1/2, scored at 5 1/2, and it folds into kind of a half a card. This one is 8 by 3, scored at 4. And what we do is we just kind of interweave these two, and you're going to want to figure out about where the center is. And then you're going to adhere it to the inside of this card. So I'm going to use a little liquid adhesive here. And again, like I said, just kind of interweave it, get it where you want it. This is what's good about liquid glue, is you can slide it around a little bit if you need to. Sure it's straight. And there's our card. I did make a little sentiment here. We'll add a couple of dimensionals on the back of this. I'm using the small dimensionals because my piece is fairly narrow. This is where I had to go out and find a, now I'm going to cover that little black dot up, I think. Okay, and that completes that card. That is the dryer sheet technique for this front piece. Now, this is the card I showed you initially, and this is the one I just made. When I made these cards, I had a hard time deciding, did I want the pink bow or did I want the Moody Mauve bow? The cardstocks, like I said, are Blushing Bride and Moody Mauve. And so I decided, well, I'm going to make one each way and have you guys let me know. I did put some little pearls on here, which I haven't put on yet. I can go ahead and do that. Just to give it a finished touch, I'll put a big one in the center. And a small one. I got adhesive on my finger. And one up here. And this one, there we go. So I don't know, which color do you guys like best? Leave me a comment. Do you like the one with the bubble bath bow or the Moody Mauve bow? And in each case, then the snowflakes are just reversed. I have a Moody Mauve large one on this card and a bubble bath one on that card. But that's the dryer sheet technique. Now let me show you the other two cards I made. The second one I made with Perched in a Tree. And the dryer sheet technique here is the background behind the aspen tree die cut. And for that background, I took a blending brush. It's just white cardstock, and I blended some balmy blue ink on it to give it a little bit of color. And then I stamped some balmy blue speckles with the speckled stamp that is also in the Perched in a Tree, and I just added some speckles in the background, and then I covered it with the dryer sheet, and it really does look like there's a blizzard going on in the woods. So that's that one. And then the other one I want to show you, I saved to last because this is a sneak peek of an online exclusive that you'll be able to get starting Thursday, July 6th, actually, today. It's today, right? The 6th, yeah. And it's called Horse and Sleigh is the stamp set. And it comes as a suite of products. There are also dies that come with this stamp set, or the bundle. There's a die that cuts out the horse and the sleigh. And then there's a couple little dies that cut out the trees and the bunny, and there's some snowbanks on here. And there's this cute little tree that cuts out a separate piece. There's the runners for your sleigh can be cut out, and also a trim piece on the sleigh. And I'll show you that on the card that I made. So I used silver foil for the runners and this little bit of trim here on the sleigh with that stamp set. This is a super easy card. The background is made with the designer series paper that is part of this suite, and it is called One Horse Open Sleigh, that designer series paper. If you think you've got enough horses and sleighs and enough trees, you're still going to want this paper, and I would not wait long. Online exclusives are available while we have them. If they run out, there's no guarantee that they will come back. But this paper is absolutely gorgeous, and I just chose one of the patterns. Let me show a couple more to you. There's one with a large tree. They're all wooded seams. There's the one I used. There's one with a cute little fox. Some more trees with a fence, but they all work well with the horse and sleigh sitting here somewhere on the seam. So aren't these pretty? This is cute, I think, with the little cottage log cabin in the woods. So that is an online exclusive that will be available, is available starting today. So here's my 3 cards. The 3 originals in here with the dryer sheet technique, and you can see how the dryer sheet just sort of softens up the whatever you have behind it, whether it's a stamped focal point that you have, or in this case, I used this designer series paper. You can just see how the dryer sheet softens it up, and that little bit of glitter behind there, even though the dryer sheet does give you some sparkle and sheen, the glitter adds a little bit more, just looks like little snowflakes blowing in the wind. So I hope you like that technique. Let me flip my camera back to me. And easy, not difficult, not too messy. You kind of got to watch where you spray your adhesive. So I hope you liked that. If you did, will you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, help my channel grow. And we will see you next week with another technique. Have a great one till then. Bye-bye and have a great day.